Hello, good evening and welcome to this edition, the Easter edition of Eye on Sports, coming to you live from here in the studios of Metro TV. It's our hope and prayer that this Easter and the resurrection of Christ brings all of us healing, protection and peace in our homes. The program is proudly brought to you by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, the Ghana Revenue Authority, Ghana Community Network Services, Goyle Company Limited, Ghana Revenue Authority, as well as Serene Insurance Limited. Now, media partners include the Business and Financial Times. So if you get a copy of the Tuesday edition of the Business and Financial Times, they publish quite a lot of the happenings on this platform, as well as the schedules of the vessels that are bringing your goods into the port. Also, the Ghana Web publishes almost everything, so you can read from there. Tomorrow at 8:30 p.m., GH1 will show an abridged version of this program, and on Wednesday at 8:30 p.m., Ghana Television will show an abridged version of the program. Folks, we are hearing that we have about 408 cases of the COVID-19 in this country. Now, out of that, we have about 8 people who have passed on so far. It's not looking good a picture. The government has imposed some restrictions on movement of persons within the country. We had about 2 weeks, and 1 a.m. tomorrow, that's Monday, will be exactly the 2 weeks. In addition, he has come out to announce 1 more week, which means that the other week that we are entering, we're also going to have restrictions on movement. So this week, we're looking at how the port is handling all of these, the cargo clearance within the port and the restrictions of movement. We had some last week. We're taking a look at it again because there's extension, and look at what you can do if you have goods at the port and you need to clear them. All the questions, we have the big women and the big men to answer them today for you. So you can start gathering all your notes. If you have imported anything you want to clear, you have questions, please begin to get ready, and we will be taking all your questions. Today, more questions from you, so get ready. Phone calls, WhatsApp messages, and we will answer them. In the meantime, quite a number of news items around the port industry. The port security manager, Kenel Punamani, you used to see him quite a lot here. He has handed his baton to another port security manager. We'll bring you that shortly. Also, Goyle Company is donating some COVID-19 items to the COVID-19 fund and also the COVID-19 team. The Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority Clinic is also receiving some COVID-19 items from benevolent organizations. Take a listen to all of that.
The Port of TEMA operations team has bid farewell to the outgoing TEMA Port security manager, Colonel Joseph Malik Punamani, who has served since November 2017. The acting director of the Port of TEMA, Sandra Opoku, on behalf of management and staff, expressed appreciation for his hard work and dedication to duty, citing numerous occasions where Colonel Punamani has acted swiftly in the interest of the port.
I have to say that I have admired that part of him, that every time you call him, he's ready to help, and he does actually help and ensure that things are put in order.
Other members of the team share their fond experiences while working with him and wished him well in his new endeavors.
We wish him all the best there, and I hope the way I work with him and trust him, he will excel there, and then his name will come up.
We wish you all the best. We hope that the next time we hear of you, then it will be a promotion.
For his part, Colonel Punamani expressed gratitude to his superiors, the board, management, staff of GPHA and the port community for the opportunity given him to serve the port of TEMA.
I'm very, very grateful. I thank everybody for the support given to me. Without you, I couldn't have achieved what probably you think I've achieved.
Ghana's leading oil marketing company, Goyle, continues its massive support to government's cause to protect citizens from contracting the coronavirus and contain the virus as much as possible. Goyle has therefore donated 200,000 Ghana cedis to the National COVID-19 Fund, handing the check to the Chief of Staff, Akosia Frema Osei Opare. The Chief Executive of Goyle, Kwame Osei Prempeh, said his organization will continue to support government and Ghanaians at all time. Goyle has also donated some health and sanitary items items to the 37 military hospital in Accra. The items amounting to some 50,000 Ghana cedis include 100 pieces of full body gear, 100 pieces of surgical gowns, 100 gallons of hand sanitizer, 100 pieces of latex hand gloves, 100 2-liter gallons of rubbing alcohol, and 75 4.5-liter gallons of disinfectant. The Chief Operating Officer of GOIL, Alex Agziu, indicated that considering the crucial role the hospital plays in the fight against COVID-19, GOIL deems it fit to help the hospital's personnel execute their duties effectively.
We thought that once they are not part of the main line ministry, and that rather in a different ministry, we thought it wise that let us also rope them in, because they are also at the forefront of fighting this COVID-19.
Additionally, the CEO of GOIL revealed that the company will continue to fuel the vehicles of the operational team, helping to implement ongoing restrictions on movements of persons in Ghana. The commanding officer of 37 Military Hospital, Brigadier General Niaja Obudai, thanked GOIL and stated how critical their support would be to the dispensation of duties at the hospital.
This will go a long way in assisting us as personnel to deal with the issues that we have as far as COVID is concerned.
GOIL has previously donated to the Komfo Anokye Teaching Hospital and the Ghana Private Road Transport Union. In a related development, in order to augment the stock of sanitary items of the GPHA clinic, the Angel Group of companies has donated some 1,000 bottles of the new original Adonko hand sanitizers, tissues, face masks, and hand gloves to the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authorities Clinic and Health Services Department. The Adonko Bitters Limited is a beverage manufacturing wing of the Angel Group of companies, which has applied its expertise to manufacture a new alcohol-based sanitizer to provide Ghanaians with standard hand sanitizers to protect them from contracting the coronavirus. Kwamena Sambaini, a representative of the Angel Group, highlighted the crucial role GPH's clinic plays in the TEMA metropolis and Ghana as a whole in combating the spread of COVID-19 as the motivation for the gesture.
Some of the alcohol we import and all that comes through our ports, and so why don't we also, that alcohol which they have helped us clear, why don't we also go back with them what we have been using some of the alcohol for? Therefore, if we think it's beneficial to other people, why not the port authorities and their health facilities?
Dr. Kisi Dompre Ofori, Senior Medical Officer and Clinical Services Coordinator of GPH's Health Services Department, who accepted the donation on behalf of the management of the GPHA clinic, emphasized the importance of the specified protocols by health authorities in preventing the spread of the coronavirus.
We have to observe the basic protocols, so social distancing, hand washing with running water, and the use of alcohol-based hand sanitizers. So basically that. And then you have to, if you have to go out, it must be very important. Otherwise, just stay at home.
The matron of the GPHA clinic, Elizabeth Okansi, thanked the Angel Group for their philanthropy and urged other corporate bodies to emulate the gesture.
I will be very grateful if other institutions and companies who can afford to help will come in and help, as this will prevent the spread of the COVID-19.
The European Commission has issued...
Okay, so we say congratulations to the former Port Security Manager, now Kenneth Punamani. And then we also noticed that a number of organizations are donating and assisting institutions that are also on the front line fighting the COVID. And the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority Clinic definitely is one, as well as the International Maritime Hospital. My guest in the studio is Mrs. Esther J.B. Donko, is the General Manager, Marketing and Corporate Affairs, my personal boss. Madam, good to see you. Looking fresh on a COVID Easter day. Corona Easter day. And then also Mr. Eddie Akrong is the President, Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders. Mr. Akrong, good to see you.
Good to see you.
We're going to have a distant guest like we've been doing for the past weeks. There's a distant guest who would be joining us on phone, Mr. Joseph Educhei, TEMA Sector Commander, Customs Ghana Revenue Authority. He will be joining us on the line so that matters relating to customs, he would come in with them. But Madam Eza, it looks like some support is coming to the port clinic and all of that. This is very needed, isn't it?
It's more than needed, and we thank them for donating to us. But we are still expecting more to come, especially from the port community. Our licensees, our concessionaires, and then our other partners like my brother Eddie.
The freight forwarders. You haven't donated yet.
You know, it's coming.
You have to let it come.
It's on its way.
Because it's a huge challenge. It's a budget that we did not envisage, and the prices of these things we are using for the whole port community is just increasing and increasing. And as we speak, by the end of March, we have spent about 500,000 and over.
I see.
And we are still, spending about to make sure we have the community safe. So why not? We expect our private operators to also support us so that we can put these things at the common areas for the whole port community to.
So it means that aside even the regular port operations helping to clear some of these items out of the port, you are also spending on these areas, safety and all of that.
Yes, of course.
What have you been doing so far?
Well, of course we have put around the whole port community some Veronica buckets. We will say Veronica tanks, poly tanks, because the usage
the mini ones.
The mini ones. Is so high, so we have rather put these poly tanks at the various areas with soap so that our port community can be washing their hands as they move around. We have also provided hand sanitizers, advantage areas, both the facilities and offices areas, and then the operational areas for customers and other port stakeholders to use to make sure that we prevent the risk of getting the COVID-19. And we have also purchased these infrared thermometers that we are checking the temperatures at the gates and everywhere, so that we make sure that we prevent the COVID. So a lot of expenditure is going in.
I see. And your hospitals and clinics as well.
Exactly.
Are they serving only the port operators, or you are serving the TEMA, the whole country?
The whole country. Yeah, I mean the general.
Both the clinic and the International Maritime Hospital.
Yes, it's open to the general public, apart from the port workers, and in fact we have the other stakeholders who also attend our hospitals, and then the general public as well.
Okay, but Eddie, you are supposed to be more or less a beneficiary of the facilities the port provide and all of that. Yeah. So far in the period, what have you been noticing?
Well, I mean, like I think Madam said, it's in the right. First of all, let me clear this issue of we're putting together a certain fund, and then we intend to support the community with that. There's another initiative that's been taken by my TEMA district chairman, Alex Asiama, and we've put together, we're building quite a chest, and then we're going to try and help support the community with this. So pretty soon, I can assure Madam Esther that this is coming.
They'll be hearing from you.
We're coming through, yes, yes. But yes. But on the surface of what she said, like, we are beneficiaries of just what she's talked about. We're also doing the same thing in all the areas of our operations, especially our building. When you're coming to our secretariats, we have put these Veronica buckets there. You have your soap, hand sanitizers, and then we constantly are urging our members to have these in place in their private offices as well, and in all the areas of operation.
Okay. So I'm going to go for a quick break, and then when we come back, the topic is the cargo clearance procedures we have within the port, within this space of restriction on movements of persons, particularly now that it has been extended, and there are people even calling for it to be extended further because other regions are now getting cases and all of that. What are the measures on the ground as we have extended the movement, the restriction of movement of persons? We'll return shortly after the break.
Here's innovation from GOIL that takes you further. New GOIL Gold Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes have been expertly crafted with the latest in liquid engineering technology, highly advanced for modern engines, prolongs oil change intervals, save you fuel, clean, protect and enhance engine performance. The way engines work has become complex, and Goil has innovated to stay ahead. Expertly crafted lubricants that work excellently with all petrol and diesel engines of today. New Goil Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes. Innovation that takes you further. Goil. Good energy.
Dear valued client, the Ghana Trade Hub mobile app is now live to make it easy to track your consignment and know the estimated duty payable for both general goods and used vehicles. We are pleased to inform you that the Ghana Trade Hub mobile app is available for download on Google Play Store for Android users and the App Store for Apple users. The Ghana Trading Hub mobile app is now live. Download and never be cheated. This is powered by the Smart Ports project under the auspices of the Government of Ghana and the Ghana Revenue Authority. Smart Port, improving Ghana's ease of doing business.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Yeah. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Oh, how are you?
Hi Yvonne, a few words please. Everyone is talking about the fire at your production house last week. How are you holding up? Has production stalled?
No, not at all. My crew and everyone on my set is perfectly fine because I insure with Serene Insurance. As a matter of fact, I've had all my equipment replaced, including the vehicles that were affected. My workers have been sorted out. Even my production downtime has been covered. So it's all good. I have a meeting to attend to, so I have to get going. Sorry about that.
Which insurance company did you mention?
Serene Insurance, the new face of insurance, a member of First Sky Group.
Okay, welcome back to Iron Port, live from the studios of Metro TV. At the moment, my guest in the studio, Mrs. Esther Jevidonko, General Manager, Marketing and Corporate Affairs, Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Mr. Eddie Akron, the President, Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders, also distancing himself, is the Assistant Commissioner of Customs, Mr. Duce. He can see all of us, but we'll bring him in pretty shortly. He's a distant guest that we have. Now, cargo clearance procedures within the port environment right now. What's the current situation, Madam Esther?
Thank you very much. Let me take the opportunity to say hello to our viewers and to say that the ports, naturally handles about 90% of trade to our country. So whether partial lockdown or not, the ports will remain open so that we can ensure that continuous supply of essential commodities will come to the country. So that is what we've been doing all along. Even in the first instance of the partial lockdown or restriction of movement, nothing has changed now. That is being extended because it is the period that has been extended and not the characteristics of the restricted movements that was announced by the president. The president's directive was clear about cargo movements and clearance. So that is what is our basis to make sure that cargo at the ports are being cleared. So protocols have been put in place, and that has not changed. We are still applying those protocols to ensure that cargo is being cleared at the ports.
Okay, so at the moment you are clearing virtually every cargo, or there are some cargoes that you are not clearing. Are you clearing every cargo?
Yes, we are clearing every cargo. We have not limited any of the cargo types, and so what the protocols we have put in place have tried to reduce the number of people that will come to the port at the same time to clear cargo, and we are also observing all the protocols to, you know, ensure we prevent the risk of the spread. But every type of cargo is being cleared at the ports.
Okay, so there's this notion or perception that people had initially that you were clearing only what was being termed as essential goods. Where there was no definition of what those essential goods were, though, but there were that perception that ports is only clearing essential goods. You are saying that you are not clearing anything like that, essential in quote, but all cargoes are coming out.
All cargoes. Let me borrow the definition of essential from Mr. Eduche, who is the
sector commander.
The sector commander. He's saying that the definition of essential goods is relative, but to him, every cargo that is imported to our ports is essential. If not, the importers will not bring it in.
Yeah.
It's only become non-essential when, according to him, it's unwholesome or it's prohibited or it's a contraband good. And I think that based on that, we are clearing every cargo. Okay. There's nothing like essential cargo at the moment. There's nothing like essential cargo. We are clearing all the types of cargo from the ports.
Okay, and the fact that you are clearing all essential, are people also responding to come and clear these goods from the port? Are people coming in, importers and clearing agents? Are they coming to clear goods?
Yes, yes, they are coming. But let me, if you allow me, I will try to itemize or reiterate the procedures that we have put in place.
Okay.
And based on that, if I'm explaining why some of them are having challenges, it will be better appreciated. You know, we want to limit the numbers, so a permit system has been put in place. Both customs and GPHA is providing permits in addition to the GPHA ID cards that we all have. And the security agencies are respecting that, and so it is working. The one from customs is actually targeted to the clearing and forwarding agents, and then they are importers. And in the beginning, when the lockdown started, there were challenges of how the importer get the cargo unstuffed or offloaded at the warehouse, for example. And they need some staff there, and who would give them the permit or the pass to be able to move from home to the place, and all that was a challenge. But then customs came in and said that yes, the sector commanders at the various posts have been allowed or mandated to organize such passes. Okay. So then that also alleviated that kind of challenge that we were having to a very large extent. But of course, I mean, from time to time you have a few complaints coming around for us to solve, and that is but if not, everybody is being encouraged to clear cargo during this period. But we are just pleading that we should know that if you don't have any business at the port, you will not be allowed to come in. We have the clearing and forwarding agents who clear cargo for the importers. And so what we are encouraging them to do is the importers should allow their agents to come in with the truck drivers to clear the cargo for them, unless it is very critical that the importer is present. And so that is how it is. So to a large extent, yes, a number of people are coming in to clear cargo.
And this is the same procedure you expect to see in the next week that we have entered, even though the restriction is still there?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Akron, you are clearing on behalf of your principals, importers, and all of that. What's your observation of the first 2 weeks so far? And what do you hope to see getting into this new week?
Okay. Thank you very much, and thanks for having me. You would appreciate, I'm sure you're in the port community, so you'd appreciate that in the past 2 weeks it's been quiet in the port area. So of course I know we're all observing, all them social distancing protocols that have been put in place. And we're also telling our members that if you don't have any business doing in the ports, well, you don't show up. And that is what is just happening. See, so we have 3 types of, clients, if you would call it that way. You have your regular clients who do regular imports. And so these are your regular clients. Trust me, I have some who don't even know where my office is because a certain trust has been built over the years. So they do not bother themselves. They know you deliver these things to their warehouses. Now, once it gets there and they kind of load, that is another matter we'll get into. The second type is the referrals. Those who have been referred to you by maybe a friend or another client. Well, they haven't done business with you, so they're not too sure, So, of course, they would want to see you have an interview, maybe submitting their documents to you and all that, And then the third type is, those who just actually walk into the port area looking for a clearing agent because they have no clue. They haven't done this before. They have no clue. It might surprise you too that, those are in the bigger numbers. They're the last 2 that I spoke about. So the difficulty is that how do they get there? How do they come? Okay, if they are in places of lockdown. I have situations like in Kumasi. This person lives somewhere, way out of the city center. Now, how does he know that he even has to go to a certain sector commander, in Kumasi where his office is? How does he get there to even get a permit to even travel to TEMA if this is the first time?
They will rely on you for information.
I'm saying
one day.
that's why I spoke about the last 2 in the 3 types of clients that we have. Now, these are people who haven't done business in the port before. They have no clue. You understand? So there is a certain difficulty, okay, because then they wouldn't know what to do. First of all, even getting to you. So that's one thing that we have to look at. Initially, that's what brings, the issues of the passes again and again. You see, we understand that these are extraordinary times. And so, like I said, we don't come to the port if you don't have anything to do there. I don't think it had ever been the case that we just walking there, just for the fun of it. And so, with the issues of the passes, we reiterated that the difficulty is, even the first time this was issued on a Sunday. This was the night before the lockdown. You understand how many people were in the vicinity to be able to access these passes before coming to work on the Monday? Okay? So we had suggested severally, and we are still suggesting that, look, the ID cards that have been provided by GPHA, MPS, these are biometrically verified ID cards, okay? You can't go into the port if you are not biometrically, ID'd. You understand? So we could use this. This is what we said, because if I don't have any business in the port, no clearance, I won't go there. And like I'm saying, you can look around in the past 2 weeks. The port area is basically dead. So there are things that are contributing factors.
When it comes to human
exactly.
presence.
And then so there are contributing factors. Some clearing is being done, but the contributing factors are these. That of the last 2 types of clients that I spoke to you about, right now they wouldn't know what to do because they're in a fix. They haven't been doing this, before, so they don't know what to do. Okay. So the other thing is that some of these the stakeholders are working with skeletal staff. And business is very slow. Like I'm saying, these are extraordinary times. Okay? Going to the shipping lines, of course, we're doing a lot of stuff by email, getting your invoices. When you have to wait, they come in, then you have to go to the banks to pay. Go to the bank. I mean, one particular bank in TEMA, which is collecting duties now, they've shut down all the branches. They're left with one. And with the one, so you go and chairs are arranged outside because you can't have
A lot of people in one room.
In one room. So the chairs are arranged outside, you know, spaced out. I could give you an example. Last week, I had to get one person go pay duty. It took 3 hours.
Yeah, but these are things that they need to now begin to adjust to.
Exactly.
That's the times we're in.
I'm working my way up to a point. So I'm just telling you, these are all very extraordinary times. So that when it comes to considering other things where Auntie Esther knows I'm going, then we can talk about that. You understand where I'm coming from. So that is the situation. So I think we're observing all of this. So far, I know we are all observing all the protocols that have been put in place. The issue of the permits going into next week again, look, there have been extensions. So now what happens? We don't have the extended passes because the passes that were given had dates on them.
Oh, did they have dates on them? I thought Customs says they give you a limitless long.
Well, maybe there's a new one that has come through. How many people know about that? Okay, so as we speak,
so the previous one had a limit.
It had a limit,
which is supposed to end when, you know.
So the first one was the first 2 days, the Monday and Tuesday, and then there was an extension to the Friday.
That one was limitless. I was told by the committee.
Well, I haven't seen that.
Okay.
So
we'll get him to confirm.
If it's limitless, that's fine. But I'm saying it makes it if you don't have it, you don't have any business doing the port, you won't go there. You cannot actually go there if you don't have anything doing. Look at MPS. If you have to go there, then you have an appointment. You have even booked an appointment for a clearing to be done. So if you haven't booked an appointment, what are you going to do there? You have nothing to do. So I don't think there will be much of a worry. It's the hustle of going through these passes even. And then you will see how that happens because everybody rushes there. And then they are not practicing all the social distancing protocols when they go to pick up these passes.
But before then, what do you think, what difference do you think letting you use your regular ID will make?
That's what I'm saying.
Because the point is that when we listened to AC and then GPHA the last time, for instance, the idea is that just as they have done to their own staffs, limiting the number of staffs who will come, rationing their duties. Some come 1 week, 2 weeks, like that. It's the same way they need to also regulate the number of people from your end or from importers who need to come. And in order to regulate that, they need to give you something that shows that you are allowed within the space there, within this particular time. Hence the pass.
So this is what I'm telling you.
Because otherwise, if you let everybody use ID, then even people who are not necessarily needed within the port space will still have something they can show to come within the space.
To do what?
But yeah, but I mean, you don't expect somebody to do that. Somebody can use it.
That's why I asked you, have you looked in the port area in the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, you know I come to work every day.
It's a ghost town. The reason being, like I'm saying, these are, I mean, if you have no business in my office, I can tell you this. We have shut down our secretariats. I'm the only one operating in my secretariat.
Let come in because that's you. I mean, to somebody like you, if you don't have a business, you may not step out.
With all our
but
members,
somebody may disappoint. So, Andresa, so they still have a worry with the permit getting into this week.
Yes.
Are you still going to continue the permit first, and maybe as you respond to him? And did yours also have that indefinite, or you have a time frame? Has it ended and you have to issue fresh ones?
Yes, thank you very much, Sammy. Starting from our permit, the GPHA permit, you can apply for it online. We did not request that you come to our offices to get it done. We have provided the email address of 2 of our managers where they can apply through that and then get it filled, sent back, and then it's approved. That is it. But coming to the customs one, where we are asking and they have the challenge he's talking about. You see, it is not all the people who will stay home if they have nothing doing. The clearing and forwarding agents, to a very large extent, that is the fact. Because if they don't have business to do, they as clearing agents may not come. But even we have a few of them who come out there to scout for clients. As he said, he rightly said that the majority of the importers are in that category where they come to the port environment to look out for the clearing and forwarding agents. So some of their members know of this, and so they also hang around in the community to look for some of these jobs to do. And this is where we are trying to control. It's unfortunate, but this is where we are trying to control. Because you see, when we allow the normal numbers coming around, then we have a problem. The second area is the importers and their team of representatives that accompany the clearing and forwarding agent. I'm sure Eddie will agree with me that some of them, like he said rightly, some of them, they don't come to the place. They get them to do and deliver to them. But a number of them also would want to be present. And then they don't come alone. They come sometimes with a rep of a staff or the children or the relatives and something. In the past, the Port Authority have tried to say that, okay, we can give you 2 for the importers representative. And then, of course, the agent who is working on the cargo will also accompany. So maximum, we will be saying our security should maximum 3. But sometimes they come more than that. And so now, in these times, we are trying to limit this number of people as well. Apart from that, we have the trackers, who also again comes to the port community to look for cargo to carry. And these ones too, you have issued them some form of ID. If you allow them just to use the ID, they will use these IDs and come to the areas. So these are some of the things why we have to issue this special permit. But I want to even commend the security agencies around TEMA. I think that, well, the national security working with us in TEMA have done a good job. They have educated them, and then they are accepting our ID card, even normal ID cards in some of the circumstances. I am privy to some of them where they look at your ID, GPHA ID card, and then they allow the agent to work around in TEMA. So yes, it's not very smooth, but we're doing this. But coming to handle the importers who would have to come to the third category he mentioned, who would have to come to the port community before they get to know what to do. I think that these are times that they should rather get the information from both of us. You see, GPHA and the clearing and forwarding agents, they have their websites, they have they are their customers first before they become ours. So they should also try to put that general information out there. And then GPHA has also tried to be very proactive with these, publishing these directives. So far, since this COVID, we have the interagency committee. So once they identify an area and then they come up with the guidelines, it is quickly published by GPHA, and we've been putting some on our website, and the agents, the clearing and forwarding agent fraternity, also have access. So they should also publish it on their website, various websites, and then we all try to give that information publicly to this category of agents. Unfortunately, as it is, if they don't have these information from the various areas that I'm talking about, then it's going to be difficult to allow them to just come to the port area. For them, for those category of agents, importers, they don't even have any ID anyway. They don't have the GPHA ID. So they will not be able to come to the community. But if they have the information, and then we are saying that they can get to, if for example you were living in Kumasi and you do, as an importer, you do have something to do, and they have their BLs and they show it to the sector commander in Kumasi. The sector commander may be able to help. But then the question they are asking, which makes it very complex, is that probably how will the importer leave the house to go to the sector commander? So long as some of those areas will be a bit difficult, but those who have contacts with the clearing and forwarding agents should not have a problem.
But could it have helped if they could also assess the permit, the customs permit online, so that they don't have to physically move to the sector commander's office, wherever they are, whether in Tamale or Kumasi. So by the time you even decide to come to the port, you could just have gone online, like they are assessing the permit from GPHA, and then get it done, so that you don't need even to move. So before you move from your house, you have a permit.
I agree. That would be the best. Maybe the sector commander, he's with us this evening.
So he's actually on the other side, and he's going to come in right now.
That would be the best.
Okay, okay. But the other thing about, so what would you tell the third category of importers Mr. D mentioned right now? Right now, I am at home. I have imported a car I was so much expecting. The car is in. The port says they are clearing even cars. All goods are being cleared out of the port. That car is sitting in the port. I'm not allowed to move right now. Immediately, what should I do? Who should I contact? No, my car has arrived. And just,
oh, well, like you see, but like I was saying, most of
and I don't know a freight forwarder. No, I don't know a freight forwarder.
Of course, I'm sure.
I don't know anybody. What do I do now?
So I'm sure basically you can ask questions and then find out.
From who?
Because or you can go online if you want to, you know, you want to go online and check, you know, by association, also the Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders. Or
so you want them to come to your platform?
You can do that, yes.
What's your address? Because I've seen already there are 61 messages and they're all asking, I have just dropped this. I don't know where to go. And so I know when I start reading, that's going to come to you.
But once you go online, it's Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders, contact numbers, there will be 1,000
people to call.
Of course.
Okay.
And Sami, stretching this point a little bit, I want to believe that at this time, where we are talking about COVID-19 since January, you may not have a lot of the fresh importers now going out there to import cargo to come, whereby you are having a lot of first-time importers. I want to believe that the group we are talking about, they are a bit exposed to one agent or the other before. And as we are saying, if they go online, you know, if they go online, at least they can even try with the GPHA permits, which they can access online. But like we are saying, they can go to the Institute of Freight Forwarders website. They can get any contact, call the phone number, and then that person becomes your agent who will direct you and then direct you what to do or take the pass for you from sector commander TEMA and WhatsApp it to you so that you can move.
It has to have a live signature according to them. The permits that you take from customs has to have the live signature. You can't even photocopy it. You can't scan it.
You can WhatsApp.
No, you can't.
Okay. So we're going to speak to Assistant Commissioner of Customs, Mr. Eduche, on the line right now. But let me let you know, some of you already are familiar with the numbers you can contribute on, and it's already on your screen. So I noticed that you've already sent in your messages. The number that's against the WhatsApp, please don't call that number. Call the one that is on the other side, which is 020-552-8353. 020-552-8353 is the number that you can call. But the number that you can WhatsApp is 055-901-9177. 055-901-91-19177. Good evening, Mr. Eduche.
Yeah, good evening.
Sir, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm fine. And you?
I'm fine. Today you are hiding from us.
Yes,
You've left us.
I am listening from the office.
Oh, I see you from the office.
You from the office. Yes.
Mr. Eduche, you've been busy. You've been busy. Yes. You've been busy lately, almost every Sunday you're in the office.
Yes.
I see. So what's happening? What are you doing in the office? We have extended the restriction of movement, and last 2 weeks you were in the office around the same time when we called you, issuing permits. This time around, what is changing? What is new?
Okay. I've listened to all of you, all the suggestions. I've noted them down, and before I comment, I think before I comment, let me make it straight that yes, the issue of the passes came as a result of customs of GRA being the regulator of the customs house agents. You know, the national security met, so all the stakeholders at the port have regulators. GPHA is controlled by the Ministry of Transport. Food and Drugs Authority by Ministry of Health. The banks controlled by Bank of Ghana. Ghana's Canals Authority by Ministry of Industry, Science and the rest of Ministry of Trade. So when they met, they said that all of the regulators, all the stakeholders must reduce their workforce. GRA reduced the workforce. All our members, some of them are staying in the house. When others spend their leave, they change over. That is so we decided to batch our officers, and then we decided to have this thing. We decided to have shadows, and therefore some will spend 1 week and then change over. It is all over now. Now even the domestic task and then support service offices are closed, but they are working from the homes. They have virtual teams where they work online. Those areas that are not affected by the partial lockdown are also working.
Okay.
So at the port, the president said that port cargo can move, and therefore on that Sunday, Commissioner General issued a memo, a circular that all sector commanders, wherever you are, you can issue source or destination pass.
Okay.
And so I was called by the because Sunday to Monday, if something wasn't done, how would these customer house agents come out of their homes? And so I was asked to come and then issue passes. That day, the office was closed. Registry was closed. I even called my aide-de-camp attaché to come and help me to type. So I designed the form. I called commissioner. Commissioner said that, yeah, this is the way you should design the pass. And so that was a critical stage, and it was done. Now the agents, I don't see some of them come for the passes. Fine. Others have decided to use their ID card, but it is on record. When you go into our laws, Customs Act 89991, when you look at Section 443, Customs House agents, GRA must regulate you. We must license you before becoming an agency.
Okay.
When you go to the legislative instrument 2248, from regulation 19 to 34 is there.
Okay.
All the checklist you have to go to before you become an agency, before GPHA can register you. Okay. And so when you come to the port, FDA was regulated by Ministry of Health, and they are using cards. So if agencies are saying that they want to use cards, who regulated you? And so now I have a card. I have an ID card, but my uniform will identify me. If I have job to do at the port, I wear my uniform. When they see me, yes, I'm allowed to pass. Every officer can come to work. But now here's a case where we said that social distance, everybody, you stay at home, whilst others come to work.
Okay.
Where?
Mr. Adute.
And so that is the reason why we are issuing passes to the agencies, to the current agencies, and then the importers, and some of the shipping lines, and then their drivers and their staff, they also come and take the pass.
Okay. I think that point on why and what is motivating your issuance of the permits have been clearly made. There are a few teething issues that the freight forwarders, for instance, have raised, and I listened to Mr. Eddie Akron, who is leading them on one front, has also raised that this evening. He's talked about two particular categories of importers The first one, among that two, the first one is those people who have been introduced to them. They are not necessarily people who are used to the regular business within the port, and also so no freight forwarders already. The third category are those who have just probably just around January, February. Somebody said, oh, I'm bringing you a car from the US or Canada. That car has arrived. That fellow has never dealt with any business around the port before. His question is, what should those people do? Because ordinarily, in the third category, if I have never dealt with the port before, this is the time that I want to come around there and see, okay, so who is the agent I can use to clear my goods for me? Now I am not allowed to move. So how do I get access to this, your pass, for instance, and be able to clear my goods out of the port? Because you have established that, pursuant to the directive from the president, you are clearing every good. So if I have a car there, I should be able to come and clear at this point in time. However, my movement has been restricted. What do I do?
Okay. Thank you for that question. You know what? The Commissioner General issued a circular that if an importer or a traveler or a trader has goods to clear at the port, we in legal terms we don't know the importer.
Yeah.
GRA doesn't know the importer. We know the clearing agency because they have a declaration number.
Okay.
And so if you are going to clear for somebody, you have to do your homework well.
Okay.
That, yes.
You mean the freight forwarder?
The freight forwarder. In view of the COVID-19 and then the partial lockdown, you say you want to clear. Okay. Then I would then liaise with any of the customs houses, offices, all over Ghana.
Then you were referring to the importer, not the freight forwarder.
Yes.
You mean the importer who has imported has his duty to look for the freight forwarder?
Yeah. The freight forwarder will have to come and tell us that, yes, I have an importer at home who wants to come to the port, or who wants me to clear for him. Okay. I want him to come. And then a pass will be issued to you, the clearing agent, and then the importer. And so now the circular came that all sector commanders can issue source and destination passes. So if it is TEMA and you are coming, TEMA is a source. Destination can be Kumasi, anywhere, Takradi or anywhere. It can be even TEMA can be a destination. So when you are able to enter any customer house, then with your evidence that you have goods at the port, the security will allow you to go. Okay. You can pass and use your evidence that you have your bill of lading, you have goods to clear, you have got something from your clearing agent that your goods have arrived, so we are going to clear. Why don't you go to any customs office? We must have evidence. When you go to the customs office and then you are then denied. That is why you can say that the pass is not working. But I haven't seen that complaint before. And so please let us go by the status quo, the directive we have been given, and then at the long run we are all doing we are in different offices. But the ultimate motive is that revenue, safety of the nation, facilitation of trade.
Okay.
And so let the clearing agencies take the bold initiative and then be agent to the importers and then deal for them in a satisfactory way. Okay.
So we understand you. I think you are making a picture clearer. You said something that if the importer in the third category that I mentioned, if the importer, for instance, has never had business with the port before, he doesn't know a freight forwarder, he can actually use the evidence of whatever they have imported, which includes bill of lading and all of that, and use that as a means to move from their home to a customs command sector, and then go secure the permits from there.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Yes. Let me ask, thank you very much. AC, we'll come back to you. Mr. Akron. I hope that should suffice. If you have bill of lading, you've cleared your goods, you don't know anybody at the port, you don't know the clearing agent to use and all of that, and they are telling you that once you have evidence of whatever you have imported, just show that to the police, then they will allow you to move to the nearest command of customs and then go get a permit from there. Can that work?
Of course, that's all well and good with me. As long as we have told the general public that you can do this, then there is no problem. Of course, it's only the proof that you have to get to, the sector commander. And I'm saying, talk about those who have no clue how this works. I'm saying that if he has that document, first of all, if it's somewhere in Kumasi, way outside, then where is he going? Does he know where the sector commander is? Does he know the office? How does he do this? But a good idea is that once they can go online and find out, maybe from any of the institutes, could be GPHA, they could be redirected. So anybody can find out from any of the institutions, in the port community, okay, what do I do now? Because I want to, if it's getting in touch with the freight forwarders, of course, he knows how to redirect you. So I think at this point is the only way, the general trading public can do that. If you're a first timer or you've just been given a referral.
Okay, Antessa, does that work, you think?
I think it's just similar to what I said earlier. If we make provision of all the information on our websites, various websites, and we give that information out to the general public, of course, then they can go with their bill of lading to wherever, or they can easily contact any of the freight forwarders who can handle all these better, and then they are free. So
there's a question on export I'm coming to you on, but if you see you are still on the line, let me ask this one quickly before you get busy and then abandon us. Hello, Izzy.
Yeah, hello.
Okay, so with the pass that you issued last 2 weeks, did it have a definite time to elapse?
No. It's now open. It's now open. Initially, it was issued for two days, and later it was issued from Wednesday to Friday. But now it is open. Okay. And so if you have goods to clear the port, you come, and then we shall issue you with a pass. There is no deadline or time limit on it. Okay. Unless sector commanders are giving counter instruction that from Commissioner General or Commissioner that now since issuing the pass, we are going to continue.
Okay. Thank you. So continue to stand by for us. We may come to you because the questions are in. Yes, are we exporting all cargo just as we are importing all cargo?
Yes. We have not stopped anybody from exporting any type of cargo.
Okay. Then Harold is asking a question. He says, I'm Harold and I'm an exporter. I have my cargoes in the hinterlands and they need to come and get exported. How do I go about this since I can't get a clear path on this as by the lockdown directives?
I think that is part of what we have discussed. We have just discussed.
The cargoes can move. So.
Yes.
Okay. So this one says...
because the president's directive still says that cargoes can move. So he can move the cargo and nobody will stop him until it gets to the port area. And then if the agents
can take over from there with the permit.
And work.
I'm Roxin Zomelo from Kumasi. Please, I want to know the total cost of Toyota Corolla. Okay, that one, my producer, General Solomon Anderson and Lawrence Gazy would serve you with that. I've seen your chassis number there, so they will sort you out. Good evening. My name is Faik, a freight forwarder. Please, my question is directed to the Assistant Commissioner. Please, will customs waive away warehousing rent to cargoes that are affected due to the current situation? Well, customs is not in charge of rent, but the madam...
State warehouse.
No, state warehouse.
State warehouse. State warehouse. Okay, they want to state warehouse. And then madam will talk about rent.
We'll get to that.
So, AC, are you on the line? AC. Hello, AC.
Hello.
AC.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a question for you. He says, good evening. My name is a freight forwarder. Please, my question is to you. Will customs waive away warehousing rent to cargoes?
Excuse me. Can you please come again?
Okay.
Because it's not, you are breaking.
Okay. Will customs waive warehousing rent to cargoes that are affected due to the current situation?
Oh, okay. State warehouse rent.
Yes.
It is a parliamentary. Okay. State warehouse. Listen to me. State warehouse was passed by Parliament.
Okay.
It is part of the levies to the government, but in the regulation, when the Commissioner General, the Commissioner reads your issues on paper, and he thinks that the state warehouse can be waived. It can be waived. When he thinks that the state warehouse must be mitigated, there is a provision in the regulation which empowers the Commissioner General or Commissioner of Customs to waive or mitigate the state warehouse. So it is on each individual's merit, case by case.
Okay, so that's case by case basis. The Madam is a rent from GPHA. I've seen that coming up, so then I might as well ask that one. Will the Port Authority be waiving rent as people assume it should be the case, especially now that you are saying that you are clearing all cargoes?
Yes, thanks for the question. And I would like to put on record that even without COVID, sometimes we have some importers requesting for some waiver of rent from us, even when the fault of not clearing in good time is coming from them. Some will tell you it was due to financial constraints. Some will say the importer was ill and all of that. We do that already. And so in these times, why not? We have opened the port to everybody to be able to clear. So that general principle is there that you can come and clear every cargo. But we are also not ignorant of the fact that some of these issues become challenges to the people. So we don't have the en bloc directive that rent is waived for this period, but we will look at it on case by case basis.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so do you know about demurrage as well? Even though we don't have Mr. Ayana on, I'm sure you work.
Yes, I think that the demurrage has also come up for discussion, and GPHA has always tried to discuss this issue with the shipping lines. But the principle they are also keeping to is the fact that the importers, and for that matter, their clearing and forwarding agents, are their clients, and they have that working relationship with them. And as and when the need be, they need them to apply to them for that kind of waiver. They also don't want to put the straitjacket thing to cover everything, because they have the impression that once that is done, then people who are unable to clear within the period due to their own reasons would also want to take advantage of that.
Okay, so as I read your comments, this one says the police needs more education as what is done at the port, more especially the police on the beach road are a pain in the neck. They should be provided with data on goods cleared from the port. They take undue advantage of asking uncomfortable questions. I'm sure the police are watching, but like Madam said, they have been connecting with the national security and they understand some of these. You also just have to be patient and explain things to them. The police stopped me from going. This is another one, Mohammed Apollonia. The police stopped me from going to the harbor after I showed him my GPHA pass. May I know if it is exempted?
No, they shouldn't have stopped. They shouldn't have stopped him. But if, for example, when the other gentleman has mentioned the specific checkpoint, so I mean they are close by, we can take it up with the national security and then engage them.
Okay.
So that, but they shouldn't have stopped them.
Okay. Okay. So. Let me just read this one. This one says, hello, sir, can you please assist me with the contacts of programs? Okay. And that I think will be sorted out by the producers. Quite a number. It is difficult to. Okay, so we can, if you want to join the conversation via phone, you can also call us. The number you can call is 020-552-8353. And just has clearance been normal? Are you clearing enough goods as you wish? Probably not in the same volumes as before, but if you can also share with us some numbers, if you have them available, we will be glad to know. What's the current situation? Cargo throughput, for instance.
Yes, cargo traffic. If you look at the figures that are ready with us at the moment, we have January and February ready.
Okay.
March we are consolidating March. You will not see the effect too much for now because, of course, obviously, January, you know, people had already imported, the vessels were already en route to come. February, almost same, because, you know, the WHO came in to announce the emergency of this COVID-19 on 30th of January. So some had imported things and, you know, it's on its way. So January, February, you can't see that effect much. But we saw that the figures for February has reduced if you compare it to 2019, 2020, 2019. But January was fine. And then February, it has reduced a little bit. About, if you compare it to the 2019 figures, the traffic had reduced about 0.9%. And so, you know, but we are definite that from March, April, thereabout, that's where you really see the effect. Of course, it's natural. You know, China, Europe, and America are, you know, trading partners. And now that you cannot go there to bring the cargo, the Guta have also complained that they are constrained from bringing the cargo. So naturally, it's going to have effect on us. But for now, you are not able to see that effect very much. And we are not really giving out the figures too much because for now our focus is really on how to prevent COVID-19 and make sure that our port community is safe.
Okay, so please ask Auntie Esther for me. Since the COVID-19 pandemic occurred, we had a container from China to obtain the bill of lading. Has become a problem for me to get it because of the lockdown. Also in China, please kindly ask for me if they can do something about the demurrage. So this is the other end as well. How can he get a bill of lading?
You see, these are all the extraneous circumstances why we are pushing for this, and once you give me the opportunity, I think I'm going to kick in there. See, these are extraordinary times, the world over. And I think world over governments are doing everything they can to mitigate the suffering of their people.
Yeah.
So, like I was saying, these are extraordinary times. So
what do you expect?
Of course, even with the local clearance, see the effort we're putting in just to figure out how maybe somebody might move from Kumasi to be able to come clear maybe something in TEMA. Okay? So these are not ordinary times. So when we push for these things, like my brother said, talking about the state warehouse rent, talking about the 60-day moratorium on the clearance of vehicles. Let me give you an example. The first 3 days of when the lockdown happened, in the first 3 days, there were some shipping lines who were not even open. Okay, some came later. If you had a car, so for 3 days, this car will be sitting there, you cannot even clear. DVLA, who was supposed to be the last in the chain of clearing vehicles at the port, we're not there for about 3 days. What do you do? Everybody.
So what are you asking for?
What we're asking for is this, Samuel. There should be a certain general moratorium. Forget about the fact that some one or two people might take advantage of the system to say that, oh, okay, since there's a lockdown, then let me leave my stuff in the port. Okay? But all the circumstances, if you look at them, they generally look.
So on case-by-case basis, we should consider.
Now, here's the problem with a case-by-case basis. By the time we're done with this, and we're going to do a case-by-case basis, look, it will be a bureaucratic hell. Because then what you're talking about is all these people lining up, writing letters, trying to explain how, and then based on what will be the parameters for
so
you
what do you
accepting.
advise? So what do you advise?
Please, it should be a general moratorium. We should look at it. How difficult should this be? Okay.
So this one like this is asking for, assume he's asking for demurrage for this kind of situation.
Exactly. What are you going to do?
You think he deserves it?
He deserves it. Because the offices, and I have a couple of cases like that, the offices in China are closed. Who is even sending you, who is mailing that bill of lading to you? I tried ordering something from AliExpress. It took 57 days. Something that takes usually under a week. You understand? So it is a general, it's a worldwide thing. So what we're pleading is that, look, they should take a look at the situation and say, look, everybody should try and meet somebody halfway, okay? Mitigate the suffering of the people, because a lot of them will be through, look at the 60-day matter on cars. Then they're going to seize people's cars just because now we have another week's extension. So you're talking what? Another 21 days, okay? If you have 60 days to clear a vehicle, and then now, in 21 days, you would have to find your way. How some of them will have to go look for finances, funds, how to come and clear. It is a tough time. So we should try and do something about this. Let's have some general extension. Of course, we don't know how long this is going. Is there going to be another week? We don't know. Okay, so let's have some general. So at least it will bring our people, it will bring them some comfort. That look. After this period, there will be maybe, we're saying we're extending, we're going to give you some maybe 14 days, on your demurrage, some extension.
A general one like that?
A general one, I believe.
Waive demurrage entirely like that?
Even if they're not going to waive it and they're going to halve it, okay? Well, what has the president done with water? What has he done with electricity?
Who should this come from? Who should you expect to make this announcement?
This is coming from the Ministry of Transport. It could come all the way from the president. That's fine, executive, because the way things are, it is a difficult time. It is a difficult time. Nothing is ordinary. I'm saying, if it takes you 3 hours to go and pay at the bank, you can imagine, the day is almost spent.
And is it doable? Is it doable? And I'm the one that tight corner.
No, I associate myself with them. I mean, some of the difficulties are beyond the control of the partners that are at the port level, like the GPHAs and what have you. But sometimes you listen to some of the importers, and that is also worrisome, Eddie said nobody would want to leave the cargo at the port. But you listen to some of these things going around, they will give you demurrage and rent-free, so stay at home, don't even move. But you see, we get worried. We get worried when we hear some of.
Is it true there has been official release like that?
No. I'm not talking about official releases, but I'm talking about some of these things that you hear.
Yeah, because people are saying some of these things.
You hear from them.
It is their wish.
It can be.
It's a wish list.
But even if it's their wish, is it official? Has that been officially communicated?
Let me address this issue. You see, that wish is not going to help the nation. Okay. So we will plead with them not to wish. You see, because we are talking about opening the ports because we want the continuity of business and supply of some essential commodities. So if we all go to sleep, the space at the port is not limitless. We have limited space. The port will get congested if we don't clear the cargo there, and then we can't even bring anything more to the place. We can't. And you see, sometimes when the whole picture is being portrayed as if these other institutions are not also going through the pain, then it becomes worrisome. GPHA, for example, we are more flexible when it comes to this our rent thing. We are more flexible, and I hope that the community will attest to that. But you see, it is not even reflecting in what the final consumer is paying for these things. We are all just concentrating on the importers. But how much are we buying all these hand sanitizers as we speak?
Yeah.
The prices have just shot up to whatever you can think of. I don't want to go there. Everything is going out there. But then they will be telling you to alleviate the suffering of the importer. GPHA and the other institutions should suffer. But we don't. We also are 100% government owned, but we are not subvented. GPHA is not government subvented. We have to make the money to pay all our about 4,000 workers. As we do all of this, now we are working from home. We are doing rotation system. We have team A, team B. When team A is at post physically, team B is at home, working from home anyway. But we have not taken out any staff. No staff has been laid off or anything. But you have some of these private institutions or companies who have already laid off. But as far as we are concerned, we cannot lay off. And we have to pay all these staff on our payroll. So it is not to portray that GPHA, for that matter, has so much that we can just go off. We all are in this together, and we all have to appreciate each other's pain. And I agree with him that we all have to meet ourselves halfway. As I was telling you, as we sit here, the kind of money we are spending on all these things we are providing for the port community for COVID, who is providing this? It is us. It is us. Nobody has helped yet. You know, and so if you ask me not to take the money to that, I would take to be able to provide for these things. But we are concerned about the health. Yeah. We should be able to provide the hand sanitizers, the water and the soap and everything to make sure that our community is safe.
I'm going to pick Foster from TEMA. Hello, Foster, if you're on the line and you can hear me. Good evening. And
good evening, Mr. Afam.
Good evening, Foster.
I want to add Madam Esther about transit yard. We have some charges they call overstay charges.
Okay.
Because of the COVID-19, they say they will position a few containers.
Okay.
So if a car come in and load one container, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 4 days or 2 days before the car, the other container will come before you load. But the terminal manager will say you will pay for overstay for delaying that container because they say there is something like that. So you should pay. By force, you should pay. So if your customer don't want any issue like that, he will pay it and you will pay tomorrow too plus that one too. So if something like that happens, it make the customer very worried. And again, let me add this one. Transit yard, our main gate, the hand sanitizer there is spoiled. Somebody spoiled. They let the person pay 900 Ghana cedi, but still they have not faced it. Tell Madam Esther to face it for us because we have family. We need to protect ourselves.
Okay.
Thank you.
You mean the dispenser that dispenses the sanitizer is spoiled?
No, they say it's spoiled. Some agents spoiled.
Okay.
They take 9 million from the agent at the spot.
Okay.
But they have not faced it. I don't know.
Okay, so your questions have gone to Antessa. Antessa, would you like to address them before I read some of these ones?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. What I know, even before the COVID-19, if we are unable to bring the container in good time, we are able to waive the rent if it's accrued rent, because as for the transit, it's 21 days rent free. So normally they don't even go into the rent zone. But if we delay from transferring the containers from MPS to deal with it, we are able to waive that. So in these times, I'm rather surprised that they are still taking the overstay from them. So I will check and deal with that one. Okay. It shouldn't be.
And the sanitizer as well.
The sanitizer, it will be.
We have plenty. We have plenty. So I'm sure
we'll deal with it on a more serious note.
Yeah.
We'll deal with it.
Okay.
And so thanks for the information.
Okay. So please, my fellow clearing agents, let's help the situation. If we don't have anything to do, don't go to the port. My name is Francis. This is an advice coming from Francis. But Francis goes ahead to say his mess client, for example, is working half day and taking full demurrage. Is that true?
Yes, this is the information we've been getting, from our folks. Listening to Auntie Esther, I know she understands where we're coming from. Of course, I mean, she's got in between a rock and a hard place. My brother.
Oh, really?
Like, I'm telling you, of course.
Okay, so let me add this one. Kindly ask Auntie Esther, how would the Port Authority and the shipping line address a case of an importer who has genuinely decided to obey the COVID-19 protocol by staying home and not coming to the port to clear his or her cargo? If the person has decided, Charlie, I'm not moving, yet I have a goods there, how will you address that? This one, let me add on. Hello, Sammy. I think if GPHA or MPS reduce berthing charges for shipping lines and vessels that call our port, the lines will also take a cue in waiving demurrage accordingly. GPHA should take the lead as well as MPS. This is coming from Romeo, so we'll take that and then address that going. Good evening. I have applied for a refund to GPHA since 2015. I was charged for unstuffing and restuffing and applied for my refund. I followed several times, always go and come. 2015. That's his worry. This one says, good evening. Please, I am a teacher and have imported a car from USA. Please, do I have a waive when clearing? This is one Madam Regina from Kumasi. Or do I have a reduction? I think she mentioned that tax. Reduction in tax waiver when I'm clearing. Okay, so Antesta is taking note of that as well. Hello, my name is Liz Stowell. Okay. Let me go and pick Moses on the line and then I'll come back to some of the messages. Moses is calling from Medina. Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Moses.
Yes, Pastor. Yeah, I just tuned into the station and I had a conversation. Actually, we imported the containers from Korea, goods, peppers, and last 2 weeks we were able to clear one container. The other two is in. Now this is a situation whereby even the first container, how I arrange money to clear the first container. And this situation now, the cars, everything were blocked in my house now. I can't even sell it. I can't do anything. The money I took from the bank, everything. How to mobilize money for the second and the third container which came in last week has been a problem to me. So how are they arranging all these things for us to get a demurrage delay whereby maybe days will be extended for us to be able to clear our other goods? Because whereby the monies we took from the bank, we need to pay that, and then even the two other containers, how to clear those containers from the port has been a problem to me now. I don't know what to do.
Okay. Yeah.
So if anything, Madam Esther can explain to us how the case will be extended so that maybe by the end of this whole thing, if God willing, everything was gone up, then we can see how to clear the other two containers.
Thank you, Moses. I think that's part of the bigger picture of the supply chain issues that they had talked about. Madam Esther has taken note as well as Eddie. We'll get back to that. Hello, my name is Listowell. Please, I want to know if you want to come and clear your goods, do you have to go to custom office for permit before you can come to the port, or you can do the port, you can come to the port straight? Please, I also want to know the duty of care that I have imported. Okay, that would be communicated to you. And as for going to the customs, they have said it earlier. You have to get that permit from customs. Hi, I am Mavis. My goods came in before the lockdown, and I was supposed to clear it on Monday, and the president announced a lockdown on Sunday, so the goods will go on demurrage. So what am I supposed to do? Should the goods go on demurrage, or she can come and clear?
She can come and clear, and I think that can be tied to the person who said he doesn't want to come to the port because of lockdown. He just wants to be
he wants to stay at home.
He wants to stay at home. That is the attitude I was talking about. You see, the government or the president did not say that we can still deal with cargo. He didn't say it for no reason. Yeah. He knows why. The linkages are there. And you see, and we don't have the time on this program to actually expose the public to why
cargo
must be cleared and transported and moved. So the president has given us that leeway to handle it for a reason. So we need them to come and clear. You see, so you can't just say because of lockdown, we are just there. We are telling you that all the protocols have been put in place in the port environment to make you safe. Once you also go by the ones that are the personal responsibilities, where you come in around, you have to wash your hands with soap, you do that. You use the hand sanitizers, you do it. You have to use the nose mask, you do it. And all of that, the social distancing is going on. Eddie was telling us that the place is, you come to the place and you see it virtually as empty. But we are working. You see, you go to ports abroad, you don't get to see a lot of people in the port as we used to see. But they are working, they are clearing cargo, they are doing everything, you know. So even if we are not doing as much as we used to do in the past, which is obvious and natural, we are still clearing. So don't tell yourself that, for me, my cargo is at the port, but I just want to stay at home, I will not come. No, you have to make arrangements to come and clear the cargo. Okay. Now, the one that is very genuine is the gentleman who was asking of the fact that the shops are closed. The person is clearing the cargo, even if you put it at your warehouse or something. He said it rightly. They go and borrow money from the banks to come and clear. And sometimes in the past, when we didn't have COVID-19, they would sell some and then they can come back to use that same money, turn it around to come and clear the rest. Okay. So now he's cleared the first one. He's unable to sell. Yeah. How would he be able to mobilize money and come and clear the other one? So he has a genuine reason not to be able to clear the others. And that is why my brother my
He's asking for
moratorium.
So can there be an extension of the rent period or demurrage period?
I mean,
is it possible to extend the period for which rent can accrue and demurrage can accrue? So if rent was accruing 7 days, can that be extended? If demurrage was accruing 21 days, can that be extended?
Yes, we are still discussing. We are still discussing. But for now, the main institution responsible for the demurrage, which is the shipping lines, are saying they will do it case by case basis. But I believe that we should be able to get to that point where we give some room, that period where we can waive off some of these things, to be very honest with you. And it is based on all that kind of thinking that if you look at the Director General's communique that was issued on the 28th of March, when the lockdown started, he said that as we move along, when we get to some critical areas, then the shipping lines and the terminals should be ready to just waive off the rent and demurrage. Is in there. But we are still discussing to ensure that that happens, because some of the reasons are genuine.
Yeah, and the lines are the multinationals. Some of these decisions, they may want to look at their commercial interests and things like that. Does it mean that something like this should come from, say, the president? Some of this directive when it comes to the demurrage charges.
Looking at the
fact that the agencies can't convince them to do it.
But looking at the fact that they are private businesses and they're multinationals. I was just telling my brother, Mr. Ayana, I called him on the side. I said, hey, my brother, you are talking power. Because I realized, trying to,
water down
a few things so that when this thing is over, you don't come and say, but you see, like I'm saying, those we talked about, somebody saying, look, because he wants to stay indoors, he's not going to come and clear. Trust me, I think they're in the minority. How many people will want to just keep their goods? If you're a proper businessman and you want to, unless you brought something that you think you don't need. So I think it should be looked at. It should seriously be looked at.
Let me pick Lydia from TEMA. Hello, Lydia. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Lydia.
I'm calling from TEMA.
Please go ahead.
Regards to the hand sanitizer issue that happened at the transit yard, I wanted to ask Madam if it's right, because I think that happened like as a work hazard, and I don't know if it's right for them to take that amount of money from the lady, and yet still the hand sanitizer have not been paid.
Okay, okay. So I think this one, okay, I will let Madam answer, but some of these operational stuff, I'm sure that you can approach the operational areas within the port administration, and it can be looked at in detail. Good evening, Sami. Good work there. Please, about the state warehousing rent, the AC is not being straight on it. Just last week, he issued a 300% penalty on state warehousing rent. Please ask the AC what informed that decision. Michael from Dansuman is asking, and we'll hopefully get AC to respond to that. Good evening. Please, my name is Jack One. My question is, what is GPHA doing about CMR, which is not helping at all? Can GPHA do something about it? Okay. So please, can you ask GPHA how man hours or days will it take to approve a waiver at GPHA? Wow. How do you tell us to clear our cargo whilst our shops are closed? Where do we clear the cargo to? Free days. India is doing same free days for all cargo landed in India during lockdown. Same happened in China. So the issue about where they take it to their shops and warehouses we'll probably revisit. Okay, there's an update. Somebody is updating us. Okay, that's coming from my producer. Solomon Anderson says the update we have is 566 cases so far, and the death is still 8. The death that we have is still 8. It's not a good picture that we have at all. That is why we are encouraging everybody as much as possible, obey the protocols that have been put in place. When we clear and the shops are closed, where do you put them? Please advise the port to seek for some free days for us. Robbie from TEMA brought that one. So Foster from TEMA Online. Okay, this one says, please kindly ask the question for the price of the Corolla. Okay, that one is, it will be communicated to you. Good evening, sir. May kindly use your platform to advise all the shipping lines and the EcoBank Ghana that reducing their staff is not the best solution for adhering to COVID-19 protocols, because this is a time that they need more staff to avoid overcrowding at their premises. You may have to also approach the customer service of these people. I'm sure they would definitely give you reasons why they have cut down. I'm Nano Opare, a freight forwarder. Can an importer come to the port to clear his goods with a hard copy of GPHA payment receipt, declaration hard copy, and duty hard copy receipt as a pass to reach the port, please? And plus the others that you have taken notice of. This Opare's case is asking whether can an importer come to the port to clear his goods with a hard copy of GPHA payment receipt, declaration hard copy, and duty hard copy receipt as a pass to reach the port, if they don't have your permit yet?
If they don't have a permit yet, depending on where they want to travel to, where they are coming from and where they want to travel to. For that short distance, like Sector Commander was saying, moving to a place to take the pass, that should be accepted. If you have all of this, it should be able to move you to. But if they are going to travel all the way from maybe Kumasi or Sunyani or that kind of thing, probably they are going to face a lot of checkpoints along the line, and it may not be. So they should rather, to be safe, they should go with all that to the nearby sector commander to take the pass. Now, let me talk about the one that said that if GPHA will be ready to reduce the berthing charges for shipping lines, then they will be ready to reduce or waive the demurrage. It has nothing to do with it. The demurrage that the shipping lines charge the importer is on the basis that you have kept the container. It has nothing to do with berthing, so there's no linkage where we should be reducing the cost of berthing them. So we will not reduce the cost of berthing them. It is about the importer keeping or holding on to the container. So all we're saying is that now that things are not as it should be, can you allow them to hold on to it a little bit so that they don't pay that kind of money? So that is it. Now the CMR is not a GPHA requirement. It's a customs requirement. Okay. So there's nothing GPHA can do about it. We are requested to process this CMR for customs to be able to trace and monitor where the containers are going, and so that they can account for the various containers that move from the main terminal to other terminals. So it is important that we do the CMR. But I am aware that there are some complications around it in recent times, and I think we are working with customs to improve upon it. But the CMR is an important critical tool for customs to be able to monitor where the containers are.
Okay, Nana Poku is on the line from Sakomon, and before I pick Nana Poku, please, I stay in Kumasi and I have a cargo on the way. We are asked not to come out. Please, what should I do? I think that has been communicated by the AC already. Get in touch with your sector command, the customs office in Kumasi, and get a permit, and you can follow up. Otherwise, rely upon the clearing agents. They are mandated to assist you to clear your goods out of the port, and you will get them out of the port. You're also asking for the cost of the duty cost of your Nissan Note. That will be communicated to you on this platform. So, Nana Poku, if you're on the line, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, please go ahead, sir.
Yes, the name is not Nana Poku, it's Nana Obokomata.
Okay. Okay, Nana.
Okay, my question to Auntie Esther.
Okay.
We did in bulk cargo. Presently, we have a vessel with clinker from Turkey, and we are manufacturers of cement. Now, just last week, we were there when National Security came to stop the factory from not operating. Even though we were having over 250 workers, we reduced to 27. Now, National Security came to stop the factory from producing, meaning the clinker, which the duty on it has been paid, the GPHA dues on it has been paid. We have to take this cargo to the factory. Now, the clinker is said that when you take it to the factory without being utilized, it kicks. So my question is to Auntie Esther that we need a letter from GPHA mandating us to national security, so therefore we can have this consignment that keeps on coming. Because as we speak, Gasem has a vessel at the port being discharged clinker into the warehouse.
Okay.
Same we are one hand for that matter, so cement.
Yeah.
We have a vessel that is at the anchorage yet to be berthed, I think tomorrow. Okay. We need to discharge to the warehouse for it to be used. Now, if national security stops us from the clinker that has been discharged from the port to be used, then there's going to be trouble at the warehouse for that matter. The clinker is going to be kicked. So my question to Auntie Esther is, how do you move from here to the next stage?
Yeah.
Mr. Akron, good evening.
Thank you, Nana. Thank you very much. Hi, I'm Mukta.
Good evening.
Hi, I'm Mukhtar of Freight Forwarder. The new permit customs issued was a limitless one. This is a great show and very educative. You're helping government. Okay, so he's indicated what the pass is limitless, and he sent a copy. So thank you very much, Mukhtar. So that's a clarification from him. I'll let Madam Esther answer to Nana shortly, but let me add some few as I'm running out of time. Mema from TEMA. We have been coming with more people to the port during clearing because of theft. Oh, really? Okay. So Auntie Esther may want to shed light and maybe advise you as well, because that is no longer the issue, and you can take advantage of the tight security right now. I think the general feeling of not having to go to work, if you have been advised not to, in your own receptive company, should be enough to naturally select the essential stuff. Freight forwarders have been issued GPHA IDs, which should be checked before allowed into the port. Regards to Madam Essa. This is coming from Kenneth Ashongman. Further to this, I have a complaint from Ghana Free Zones Board. Currently, if payment is made remotely electronically, you still have to walk into the designated bank branch to physically collect receipts for payment to submit to Free Zones before your document can be processed. Madam Essa seems to have idea about that. So, Madam, you can pick all the issues that have come.
Let me start from the theft one. I don't see how that is, because you see the importer has his or her representative as the clearing and forwarding agent who is keeping the interest of the importer, and then we are allowing at least one representative of the importer. So it can be the importer himself or a representative. As we speak now, we are allowing that. So what we are saying is that a clearing and forwarding agent, and one representation of the importer, and then the truck driver. So if the clearing and forwarding agent and the importer or his representative cannot secure the cargo, then I don't know what the numbers will do. So that doesn't come in. Okay. We are pleading with them. Theft at the ports are not as it were in those days. We have the CCTV cameras and all of that around, and we know that these are not the times that we'll have to be looking at some of those things. It's reduced to the minimum. I cannot say zero. It's reduced to the minimum, and always the agents are there to supervise the unstuffing of the cargo, and so we hope that this will not be a challenge now. Okay. Now the bulk clinker, I am surprised the factory, the national security were stopping the fact, because so far I am not aware about the factory being constrained. I am aware of the shops, but the manufacturing factories areas, I'm not sure they've been. But even if that is the case, then what we can do under the circumstance, it will be likened to what we said for the customs issuing pass for some of the workers of the warehouse. I mean, the importer going to offload at the warehouse and what have you. We'll look at that angle to ensure that they can offload and work on the clinker so that it doesn't get kicked.
Okay.
That's
that part situation. The factory has to be up. I thought manufacturing was up.
Yeah.
Was it part of the essentials?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Manufacturing was up. So it's surprising, because from the question he was asking, then it's not DSS's problem. At least the port is open, they can allow the clinker to be moved. But his problem was that if it gets to the factory, who's going to work on it? Because the factory, they've closed the factory.
Yeah.
So it means the clinker gets there and it's going to become waste.
Yeah.
So I think that is his problem. So I think it's more of a national security problem. They have to ask why they are being shut down.
Okay. And Antessa, that brings me to that particular one. So is there a way people who have warehouses outside the port space or have shops, and they have taken goods out of the port and they want to take them to their shops and warehouses, is there a way their workers there can also be assisted to work on those cargoes there, so that people are not worried about the fact that, okay, when I take my goods out of the port, where am I taking them? Which are some of the questions that are coming up.
Yes, to the warehouses, that can be dealt with. The general directive that came initially was for the national security to give permits to those who critically need it. So I would expect that the importer would show that I am going to carry cargo and this is where the cargo will end. So allow me some permits to be able to unstuff the cargo and put it in the warehouse. Okay. But when these challenges started coming, like the AC said, they have been mandated, the sector commanders have been mandated to give passes to a few of the importers' workers who will offload cargo into the warehouses or where they are going to put it. Not to open shops and sell, no.
Only to take
the cargo there. Only to take the cargo there. The customs ACs or sector commanders can issue that pass. Okay. So if the clearing and forwarding agent who is working on behalf of the importer requests further passes for a few of those people to go and unstuff the cargo they are sending to the warehouse. And the sector commander has indicated, Mr. Eduche has indicated that that is possible.
Okay.
So that should be possible to solve that problem.
Okay. Let me pick Selom Obobi from TEMA. Hello, Selom. Or is it Seron? Hello.
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 Yes, sir. We can hear you, please.
Yeah. My continue to the discussion on the radio set, the TV set. Yes. Yeah. Mr. Sir, I'm calling from Ashama, Lebanon. Hello.
Please go ahead, sir. We can hear you, and lower the volume on your set.
The problem we have in the port is we have a huge problem, and we need people to lead me to solve some of the problems.
What's your problem?
We are talking about holidays, holidays and weekdays. Yesterday was Friday, which is a normal holiday, and I took my cargo from the port from the Tuesday. The Wednesday, Thursday, the cargo has to return to the empty terminal, container terminal. But when my container came, there was a holiday. Then the workers are not working. But from the Friday to Tuesday, meaning I'm going to pay the mortgage, but they are not there to drop the container. We have only Saturday. Okay, if you are able to go to the Saturday, meaning Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, the mortgage for you to pay. It doesn't hurt us at all, because if they come work on with holidays, meaning you drop the cargo. But if they were not able to come to the work, how do we drop our cargo? Sunday you are not there, holiday you are not there.
Okay.
You charge me and we pay.
Okay.
So all those things, in fact, we need people to work on such issues.
Thank you, Salom.
So that's my contribution, yes.
Okay. And just start taking notes. Eddie has taken note, but I'll start with Eddie first on that one.
Okay.
Let me just add this, though. Good evening. I want to find out from Madam Esther, why do the shipping lines and GPHA charge for demurrage even on weekends and holidays when the port doesn't work, which are not working days and not our doing? Romeo is asking that one, so maybe we can tie that.
I think getting to what the gentleman just said, his thing was, of course, like again, back to, you see, these are not normal times. I clear for my brother, usually what would take me a day or two to do for him has taken me a week. First of all, him even trying to get, laborers, at his warehouse to offload the cargo when it got there. So it's a whole chain. Once you haven't finished that whole cycle and delivered, you are not done yet. See, what the gentleman just talked about is, after all these difficulties even through the week, we're talking about the delays at the banks, because these are unusual situations,
and then the
delays
holidays.
of the shipping line. Now you've got the holidays. So if you return a container on Friday, nobody's there because it's a holiday. Nobody's there to offload that container. And so what it means is that automatically you are doing, demurrage from Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, which is also a holiday, on Tuesday. There is no rest for a weary head. You understand? So we seriously have to look at this. And it's a big challenge, my brother. If you look at the totality of what's going to happen after all of this, it will be a bit unbearable. Remember the gentleman who called about his 2 containers which are stuck there because the first one he cleared, he just has to go and dump in the shop. He can't sell, even to access funds. You understand? So we really, really, really have. I'm even beginning to wonder: is there any transport coming from Kumasi to TEMA? No, if somebody
that's another matter.
That's another matter.
Unless they are using their private and
coming here, I had to go through.
Allowed.
Coming here,
they are coming. The private is allowed.
Coming from home to this place, I had to go through 4.
Transport too is allowed.
The commercial buses.
Yes, they are supposed
to
space.
They don't, because they're going to lose money. So. Coming here, I went through 4 barriers. So I'm trying to figure out if you are coming from Kumasi.
You need to justify. That's why you need a permit to come and
so really,
would you like to tackle some? But there's
look at this.
Nanama who deals in second-hand clothing says, good evening, very educative. My question is, with the second-hand clothing sellers at Kantamanto, how do we clear our goods from the ports and offload them at Kantamanto? Since we are not essential goods, what do we do, Nanama?
There's nothing like essential.
second-hand clothing. And Tessa, you can tackle those ones, and then I can.
Oh yeah. Okay. Now, demurrage on weekends. This, I think Eddie just said it. This has been an issue even before COVID. It's always been an issue that some of the lines don't come on weekends.
All of them.
Saturday, Sunday. As for Sunday, we all don't work as far as deliveries are concerned. But the terminals work on Saturdays, but the lines don't come. And then some will tell you it's electronic, so they're working from home, releases will come from home and all that. But I think that area needs to be looked at by the shipping lines. There's been so much complaint on this, and it's been over the years, and they need to take a second look at that one. It's not a fair situation. I agree with the caller. The second-hand clothing, how would they put it? I don't know if Cantabas is open, so how would
but
they
that one
put
is
it
not
there?
perishable. They can keep it in their warehouses for
demurrage.
If they have a warehouse, they can put it there. Then you free yourself from the demurrage thing.
Okay. So this one there is a compliment to you, Antessa. So hi, Simon. This is just a compliment to Madam Esther, and he goes on. There are fine things. This one I have to forward to you. Then you can put it on. This is what I wanted because he has just mentioned it. He said, Antessa can smile and all your problems will go. It's coming from Charles from TEMA. When you go to Madam Esther with all your vexation at its peak, and she will calm you down with an infectious smile and bang your problem is solved. So Charles from TEMA is excited about your smile. And you have no idea, you haven't seen anything. This small one that she's displaying, when she laughs here, you will be excited. Madam will give you more. Let me just go pick international news because on the international scene, if you think this is just Ghana and we're battling with this within the Ghana ports and all that, what is happening elsewhere, you have no idea. Vessels are not calling. A lot of ships are closing down. And so many things. Listen to a few and we'll come back.
The European Commission has issued guidelines aimed at helping to repatriate seafarers stuck on ships amid coronavirus lockdown measures and resolve the current crew change crisis. The guidelines are calling on the EU member states to create a network of ports where crew changes can take place without delays. The prolonged stay of seafarers on board ships has been a hot topic over the past few weeks, and industry bodies have been urging governments to take immediate action and facilitate seafarers' repatriation. European shipyards and maritime equipment manufacturers are urging the European Union to protect the sector from the impact of the coronavirus pandemic amid looming demand drop for specific ship types, including passenger ships, dredgers, and offshore supply vessels. Sea Europe, a shipyards and maritime equipment association, said the shipbuilding sector has sustained a major blow from production halts, temporary layoffs, as well as arising liquidity issues. As the maritime industry adjusts to the constraints placed on people's movements imposed by governments to limit the spread of the coronavirus, remote ship surveys and inspections are becoming increasingly popular. Classification societies report a surge in remote inspections despite the fact that the industry has been relatively slow in the adoption of new digital technologies. Specifically, remote surveys and inspections mean that surveyors do not have to be physically present on board a vessel, which is especially important during these challenging times caused by COVID-19. Instead, by using an online connection or video streaming link, a team of remote surveyors can provide support to vessels anywhere in the world with documentation, images, video, and input provided by clients and crew members.
Okay, so it's a whole big issue we have within this particular season, and as much as possible, we're trying to unpack them. That's why the experts have taken all the time to come in to educate all of us. We're going to take the last bit of submission from the Assistant Commissioner of Customs, who is in charge of the TEMA Sector Command, and then we will wrap up also those of us from the studio. AC, good evening. If you are still on the line there.
Good evening. Good evening. I'm still on the line.
Okay, good. We want to find out from you finally what you would tell those who are saying that can your permit be assessed in any other way apart from physically coming to your command offices? Hello, Izzy.
As of now, there is no way you can access customs pass on any platform unless you walk physically to the offices.
Okay. Finally, as we have entered into the third week of the restriction, what would you want the public to be aware of, aside even those that are immediate to you, the general public? What would you want them to be aware of as far as your responsibilities within the port environment is concerned?
Thank you. Our procedure, our operations have not changed. It is the same as it used to be before COVID-19 came. And so my advice to importers and then clearing agents and any stakeholder is that let us all go by the directives. If you have anything to clear, please come and clear, but go through the stipulated directives. If you need anything from customs, if you want to do business with customs, it is better you take your pass.
Okay.
Make sure that you come and take your pass.
Okay.
Wherever you are, even we are giving passes to drivers, we are giving passes to importers, we are giving passes to self-clearance, not only the agency. Anybody who can clear goods at the port, we will give you the pass. If you have any challenge and you think you are being denied of your right for a pass, you report, and quickly we shall come to your aid.
Okay.
It is a national call. Now we need the revenue. Those who are saying that they will stay at the port, they have goods at the port, but they don't come. Please come and pay so that the government too can get the revenue. We are in hard times. Revenue is nose diving, and it's a serious issue. And so please be patriotic. Come and clear your goods. And I must also advise all clearing agents who are doing business on behalf of importers that please take to the appointment time. If you have your goods to clear in the morning, if you stand your goods in the morning, don't wait and come in the evening. It will be too late for you, because now we are going to issue that directives to our officers that the training change. Then you incur more demurrage. And so please take to the appointment I'm giving to you and clear your goods so that the port will be free and everybody will be free. Thank you.
My last request from you, AC, before you go off, is coming from Michael in Dansuma. He says, just last week, you issued 300% penalty on state warehousing rent. So he wants to understand clearly your submission on the state warehousing rent.
Yes, state warehouse rent is there after 21 days. The cargo leaves the terminal or the port to a place designated by Commissioner General as state warehouse, and that is where you pay the rent. It means that after 21 days, the terminal operator will not charge rent after 21 days, but after 21 days, the government will charge you. That the customs will charge, the area customs will charge you rent. and then you take your goods, and that is the essence of the rent. It's a levy passed by Parliament, and then before you become an agent, before you want to do business on behalf of others, custom business on others, you go through customs procedure. You become custom proficient, and then you know customs regulations. So if you are preparing for an importer, you must indicate after 21 days. You must indicate the state one. Otherwise, it's an offense. An offense goes with a penalty, and the penalty is 300%.
AC, thank you very much. Happy Easter.
Thank you.
Happy Easter.
Oh, very happy returns, and then I'm grateful for giving me the opportunity to share ideas, customs ideas, DRA and customs ideas on your platform. Thank you.
But don't stay at the office too long. Just go and enjoy the Easter small.
Great. I hear your advice well taken.
Ms. Eddie Akron.
Yes, sir.
Finally, as we are wrapping this up, your freight forwarders, your principals and all of that.
In all of this, like I was saying, these are extraordinary times. We're supposed to basically, follow all the protocols that have been put in place. So these are not easy times. You can't do anything just as it was, okay? So it is still our plea. I think once we patent Antiester's laughter, and then she, she drops one on them, they will all, kind of mitigate.
On them means on who?
On the other.
on government.
On the stakeholder. Even on government, I think it's going to have an effect.
For them to have a moratorium for everybody.
Exactly. They have to mitigate, the suffering. But on a more, serious note, I think post-COVID, we have learned a lot of lessons. Post-COVID, our paperless system, we seriously have to review our paperless system, because I saw this one gap, which I think is a huge gap.
Which is what?
With the shipping lines, because if you look at the whole blueprint, they kind of were left out. You understand what we're saying?
The shipping lines were left out.
I'll tell you why. In the chain, because what we're seeing now, even when you try to digitize a certain, a normal process, going to clear, and then you have to digitize, so you are sending emails, the time in between and all that. You see, it all causes delays. And so post-COVID, we seriously have to look at we have some answers for that, but I think that's a discussion for another day. Thank you.
Antessa.
Yes, Sammy.
All your people, aside patenting the smile, which that one I agree 100%. It was the first thing I noticed when I started working at the port. But all the issues that have been raised by freight forwarders, importers and all of that, who are seated at home, they have goods to clear and all of that. At this point in time, what would be the best message to them?
The best message is that GPHA, we've gotten extra responsibilities, and that is to focus on making sure that the port community is safe and they come in to do business. We will do our bit, and we are encouraging all of them who have cargo in the port as much as possible to come and clear. We are clearing every type of cargo, so long as their documentation is ready, the financials are ready, they should come and clear. And then they should also take personal responsibility for adhering to the protocols of the COVID-19 that has been given to us. So whilst they are coming in, if they don't need to come, they don't come in. And if they come, they observe all the protocols so that we are all safe. And when this is over, we'll come back to our normal business, strategize and move on.
So we've got 566 cases now, not a good picture. If you have any of these nose masks, don't let anybody convince you before. This is the best time to protect yourself. Put them on. If you have the sanitizers, use them regularly like we've been doing here. Use them regularly and ensure that you are safe. Wherever necessity puts you, just ensure that you distance yourself a little bit. It's not good times at all. Let's do our best and also continue to pray to God. Christ has risen. Maybe we'll get healing, we'll get protection, and we'll get peace out of it. God willing, we'll see you same time next week.